Hi there, it's Simon Gray from Career Codex, back with another weekly video. And you probably noticed it's not me on screen this week. It's something slightly different, and I need to use my screen share tool on the computer just to illustrate something that is pretty important, and something that is both important for life in general and also when it comes to executive job search. And it's something that I've used in my own life to make sure that when I'm spending my time, I'm spending my time on the right things and I'm getting the big stuff done without distraction. And the catalyst for this really is I'm under quite a lot of pressure this week. Got a lot of stuff I need to do. I've got to get my my podcast, my blog post, and of course this video out, as well as the newsletter. One or two other things. I was down in Stroud yesterday filming for an e-learning product for young people leaving school, college and university. So long day, lots of travel. So it's kind of constrained my my time availability this week, which makes productivity very important. So I decided to get this video out to talk about productivity and to talk about probably the most important tool that I've discovered to make sure that I spend my time wisely, both personally and professionally. And this is called the Eisenhower Principle. And the reason it's called the Eisenhower Principle is because it was first put together by President Eisenhower of the United States, who was the 34th president. And the story goes, President of the United States, lots of pressure on his time, lots of people wanting his attention. Where do you focus your energy and effort? Because you've only got a limited amount. So he came up with this principle, which basically brought into his conscious how he was spending his time and helped him to make an informed decision about where and how he should spend his time more wisely. And essentially it's 4 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And these boxes fall into 2 categories. It's either urgent or not urgent. I'll say that again. It's either urgent or not urgent, or it's not important or important. So up here in box 1, for example, this is the urgent stuff and the important stuff. And to contrast that down here, it's the not urgent stuff and the not important stuff. So what I'm going to do is talk about specific examples as to what this means in everyday life, and then I'm going to relate it to the executive job market and some of the challenges that people face when it comes to successful executive job search, because this matrix really does help in getting people in the executive job market to take the right action and to take the right action consistently. So let's talk about box 4 first off. And I'm sure many people watching this will recognize box 4. This is the not urgent, not important stuff. So it's things like watching TV, scrolling through a Facebook feed to see what your friends have been up to, scrolling through LinkedIn, and browsing not particularly important articles relevant to your industry sector, but just general stuff. It's YouTube. So I've done this before. I'm sure many people watching this have as well. You watch a YouTube clip even. And suddenly, it's 2 hours later, and you're still on YouTube watching something else. And YouTube is very good at that, to prompt you to go on to the next thing and the next thing to keep you on the site. Over here, box 3, this essentially is emails. And I think emails are a curse of modern society. Don't know whether you agree with me. I do think they're a curse of modern society. And essentially, they're somebody else's to-do list for you. So you have an email pop up, your email pings, and your call to action to do something. And we've been trained to respond to email as if it is urgent, but quite often it's not. And down here in these 2 boxes, essentially one of the problems here is that there is entertainment value. So the entertainment value is over here. Well, that's pretty obvious, the TV, the Facebook stuff. Over here, the entertainment value is disguised as curiosity. So of course when your email pings, you're curious, who's emailed you? Well, I better go and have a look. And then of course you're distracted and you're off into this space looking at the not important but what you deem to be urgent stuff, which actually isn't. My advice here is that you delegate your emails if you're in work to somebody else. You unsubscribe from feeds that you from emails that you don't generally read. And you only look at emails at certain times of the day. So check it in the morning and switch it off, and then check it at night, and be disciplined about switching it off. Over here I didn't mention, but this is really the stuff you should ditch. Of course we like to watch TV for entertainment value, but certainly in the work environment, or if you're serious about your job search, which I'm going to come on to, then really it's time to ditch those distracting things. Up here is where it gets a bit more serious and a bit more important. So over here, this is things like a presentation that you need to deliver next month. So it's not urgent, but it is important. It's an important presentation, and I have one I need to deliver in November. It's very important. It's not urgent. The best time for me to do it is right now, but I need to decide to do it right now because I haven't got the pressure of urgency on me, and that's the important point. So what tends to happen is we like to leave things till the last minute. So while we're over here, pretty soon, as described by this arrow, we move over here, and we're in box 1, where things are important and urgent. So over here they were important but not urgent, but through the passage of time, the creeping of deadlines, they suddenly become urgent. So to use my presentation example, this is me the night before the presentation, having to write the presentation under high pressure. Really probably not the best state of mind to do a best job, but I've got no choice. You know, this is the do zone. You either do or don't, and if you don't, certainly in terms of a presentation, well, you might, well, I might just look silly if I don't turn up prepared. So really categorizing what you're doing into one of these boxes, 1, 2, 3, or 4, helps you to focus on the productive areas and perhaps the less productive areas. And a challenge I'd lay down is, you know, do this for a day. Monitor what you spend your time doing during the day, and categorize it 1, 2, 3, or 4. And I suspect quite a bit of time is spent down here, but actually this time could maybe be spent up here. And this is an important point because we all have limited energy reserves, and I believe we have limited productive time each and every day. You know, we see people now working long hours, ridiculous hours, 15-hour days, 16-hour days, believing they're being productive. I don't buy it. I don't think it's possible. I think you've got 7 to 8 hours of productive time, however long you're in the office, each and every day to make things happen. So how you use those, how you use that period of time is really up to you, but you have to use it wisely. And the analogy I like to think of is a battery. If you're listening to this, watching this in the UK, you'll know the Duracell battery advert, the bunny, and it runs out of steam. In fact, it's not the Duracell bunny that runs out of steam, it's the other battery that runs out of steam, but there we go, I stand corrected. But basically what I'm trying to say here is that when your battery's flat, you've got to recharge. You're not productive, you're not helpful to yourself or to anybody else. So you've got to bear that in mind. So that's the Eisenhower matrix. What I'm going to talk to you now about is the Career Codex matrix. And this looks a little bit more complicated. It's got some different words on here. And it's got a different axis down here as well. And basically I've taken the Eisenhower matrix or principle and applied it to the executive job market. Now, the first thing I want to talk about here is to say that most of my executive clients, one-to-one clients, approach me here. Even my clients on the Jumpstart program approach me here. These are clients that I work with who are mid-career. Executive clients go through the Executive Edge program, and just as a footnote, there's more information on that on my website, careercodex.com. But they tend to approach me here. So they've just come onto the job market, they may be made redundant, they've decided to look for something new, and at that time it's not urgent, but it is important, because the right job, of course, is always important. So they're here. But then over the passage of time, you know, they're registering with recruiters, sending off applications to executive job boards, and they may or may not get a result. And quite often they don't get a result because they're doing what everybody else is doing. So during the passage of time, they end up over here, where it's important and urgent. And that's when panic sets in. And that's when the catalyst to get in touch with me sometimes triggers, because it's that pain, I call it protracted pain, that the executive job market or any level will give you, because rejection is just part of the process. So that's the catalyst to get in touch, when in actual fact the best time to get in touch would be over here, when it's not urgent. Anyway, that's a side issue. Let's jump down here and let's think about what most people do in the executive job market. Well, the first thing they do is they go on the job boards, the executive job boards, and they also talk to professional recruiters. Now, the reason they do this is because it's easier. Yeah, it's a reactive approach. So they're basically putting together a CV, giving it to job boards or recruiters, and then they're waiting. It's easy to do, and if you look around and look at what other executive job seekers are doing, they're probably doing the same thing. So there's kind of safety in numbers. In actual fact, there's not safety in numbers, because that's never standing out. It's reactive because you place your CV or resume with these job boards or recruiters, and then you wait. And if the phone doesn't ring, well, what do you do next? You're stuck, and that's really where the pain can start to set in. In actual fact, the more difficult stuff to do, because it's proactive, is up here. And this is where those who are smart about their executive job search, the first thing they do, rather than create a CV, they plan what it is they want. Because by planning what they want to do, it informs where they position themselves, how they position themselves in the executive job market, and who they talk to, and with what message. So can be seen as more difficult. It's the kind of thing that you need to do at the outset before you do the other stuff that you need to do in the executive job market, which is access the hidden market, which is go direct to employer and leverage the power of market makers who are well-connected individuals in your industry sector that have the power to introduce. Now, got to plan first before you enter the hidden market. You know, a lot of people want to go into the hidden market first and foremost. As I said earlier, you know, clients should approach me here, but they come here. And they want to go in here, but I take them back here first because that informs how they behave and what they do here. So this is the really important, urgent stuff to get access to opportunities, higher probability opportunities that others don't see, because by its very nature, these opportunities exist in the hidden market. And if you're not quite sure what I'm talking about in terms of the hidden market, I'd recommend you have a look at my book, Super Secrets of Successful Executive Job Search. In the first chapter, I talk about how the executive job market environment works and how the behavior and actions of employers actually reveal the hidden market as a higher probability place to find your next executive position. The other thing down here, talk a bit about recruiters. You know, registering with recruiters, executive recruiters, headhunters, search and selection firms is not a bad thing. But it is if you do it like everybody else. And what we're talking about here is having different and more empowered conversations with executive recruiters so that those conversations, by their very nature, become more important. So there are essentially three players that you need to talk to in the executive job market to find and secure your next position. A third of your time is spent talking to recruiters, and then 2/3 of your time is spent going direct to employer and to market makers. But the challenge for people is that down here, because it's believed it's easier, that people naturally gravitate to this. And you know, sometimes when I'm working with my clients, it's evident from some of the stuff I get them to do that they're spending more time down here, and my job is to make sure they spend more time up here, which is where a higher probability outcome is always available, providing you take consistent and proactive action over a period of time. So this is really the career Codex matrix, which in part builds on the Eisenhower matrix. If that's something that's of interest and you'd like to find out a bit more, please visit careercodex.com. I've got lots of blog posts on there, videos, podcasts, free educational content about how to navigate the job market successfully. And if you would like to find out more about the Executive Edge program, in fact, let me show you. Let me pull up a browser and I'll quickly show you. If you go to my website, I'll just open this on another page and pull it across. If you go to careercodex.com, let me just do that now. Go to careercodex.com. Here we go. And you click here on services. You can drop down to Executive Edge. This is for senior C-suite executives. It's a 3-month program, and this 3-month program shows you how to define, find, and secure the executive job that you really want, not just the one you've seen advertised, and is built on 3 principles. There you go. You can sign up to the newsletter as well. 3 principles, which is how the job market really works, the psychology of success, planning your executive career, and then process, which is all the stuff that you would normally associate with navigating the executive job market successfully, but done in a completely different way. So if you like the sound of that, you think it's maybe of interest, you want to find out more, fill in your details here. You'll receive an email from me, and we'll take that to the next step. So that's really all for today. I guess the thing I would leave you with, and the thought I would leave you with, is this. that people believe this is difficult, but that's only because the input is difficult and different and usually outside of their comfort zone. Once they've expanded their comfort zone, this actually becomes easy. And once you've done that, the outcome is far better. So in actual fact, defining difficulty, are we talking about inputs or outputs? And I'm a martial arts guy, training the martial arts, combat sports and what have you. And there's a saying which says, train hard, fight easy. And it's a little bit like that when it comes to the executive job market, because being in the executive job market can sometimes feel a bit like a fight or a battle. So if you do the right things and you play up here and you use the Career Codex methodology, then when it comes to actually doing stuff in the executive job market and getting results, because you put the hard work and the hard effort in, the outcome actually becomes easier and there is a higher probability of success. So that's it for today. If you've got any comments, questions, drop those in the comments box below. I'll gladly answer them. And until next week's video, where I think I'll be back on camera, have a great rest of the week. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.